What's the worst that banning abortion could do? You know, we could have a Hitler too. We could have an Osama bin Baby. Or the worst thing of all, a second James Corden. And the little dog in this cartoon says that babies taste like chicken. The guy said humans taste like pork. This was the meme yesterday. Now seems like a perfectly reasonable time to force people to have children. Yep, Scrappy. Trying women for miscarriages is exactly where this is going. Louisiana bill would allow murder charges for abortions. Opponents call it barbaric. We're reading from the local news site WWNO, New Orleans. The United States braces for the possible overturning of Roe v. Wade and an end to the constitutional protection of abortion rights. Louisiana lawmakers are advancing legislation that would bolster their ability to criminally punish doctors and individuals who violate the state's abortion restrictions. Louisiana House Committee for the Administration of Criminal Justice advanced legislation on Wednesday that would redefine personhood to begin at the moment of fertilization and would allow prosecutors to charge anyone who undergoes or provides an abortion with murder. House Bill 813 by Representative Danny McCormick. I've heard his name before. This is not the first piece of shitty legislation Danny McCormick has put forward. And that's weird for me to know the name of a representative in a state house I don't fucking live in. But I have heard his name mentioned before. This motherfucker's done some bullshit. House Bill 813, put forward by Representative Danny McCormick, would also allow the state to disregard any federal court rulings contradicting the new law and would grant the legislature the right to impeach and remove any state judges that attempt to block it from taking effect. This is truly draconian. Motherfucker. How can the legislature can take action against the judiciary for not enforcing their shitty ass law? That's not supposed to be a thing in our government. If you don't think the Republicans have gone full-blown fascist, you're not paying attention. The rationale, McCormick said, if more than 15 states can defy the federal government over marijuana, we can do it to save the lives of innocent babies. We cannot wait on the Supreme Court to confirm that innocent babies have the right to life in Louisiana. And that's why I get so upset with the chuckle fucks that always want to talk about, like, well, I'm for smaller government, I'm for smaller government. You have to have a sufficiently large enough federal government to keep these state governments in check. We have to have a set of rules we all play. There has to be some uniformity and protection of rights in this country. This is Representative Danny McCormick. You are not only a moron, you are fucking evil, dude. You are evil. We need to flush this turd. committee's overwhelming approval came less than 48 hours after the unprecedented leak of a U.S. Supreme Court draft opinion that showed that the court's conservative majority is prepared to overturn the landmark decision in Roe v. Wade that established a constitutional right to abortion. Also, I said the other night when I was talking about it that the right to privacy was derived from the 4th Amendment. I was confused as the 14th Amendment was the argument. I thought it was the 4th Amendment, the right to be secure in your effects, papers. I was wrong on that. The 14th Amendment, where they derive the right to privacy for a woman. Only 3 countries have rolled back abortion rights since 1994. We're seeing in the blue where abortion is pretty well allowed upon request. Alcohol and rags make excellent candlesticks. They're what's the Mickey Mouse meme that's like the secret tool that'll come in handy later. Ho ho. Yes. The list of countries that actually have banned abortions outright are pretty small. And that's kind of surprising to me. The Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade and paves the way for the states to implement abortion bans. The U.S. would join only 3 countries, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Poland, who have rolled back abortion rights since 1994, according to the Center for Reproductive Rights. I wonder where those 3 countries have ranked on the Democratic backsliding index. Nearly 60 countries have liberalized their abortion laws, though some only incrementally over the last 25 years. The rollback of abortion rights has come in countries where democracies have eroded, as I speculated. According to Margaret Herpin, a legal advisor at the Center for Reproductive Rights, which advocates for abortion rights advocacy and tracks abortion laws worldwide. At the same time, we've seen a considerable amount of change in recent years and an overall global trend towards liberalization of abortion laws, Harpin tells Axios. Question of who leaked the draft memo continues to stir speculation. Latest in speculation comes amid Samuel Alito canceling an appearance after the leak of the draft opinion. He was the author of the opinion, which overturns abortion access. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito was to be a no-show at a judicial conference starting on Thursday following the leak of a 98-page draft opinion he authored earlier this year in favor of overturning 2 landmark decisions, Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey, which guarantee the right to an abortion nationwide. The conservative justice, 72, had been expected to attend the conference for judges from the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, federal court based in New Orleans, and from the District Court of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, but canceled. Spokesperson for the Supreme Court told the news agency Reuters on Wednesday that Alito was not attending, but did not explain why the justice, who is tasked with hearing emergency appeals from the 5th Circuit, would be absent. Politico first published the leaked draft of Alito's opinion on Monday, flabbergasting court watchers and sending shockwaves across the political landscape. They have erected fences in front of the Supreme Court where there are indeed protests taking place. I am Sparkles. Chief Justice John Roberts confirmed the authenticity of the draft, but called the leak a singular and egregious breach of trust in a statement issued on Tuesday. A final decision on abortion access, which the court is weighing in a case about a Mississippi ban, isn't expected until this summer, and the justices' votes could still change, but such a ruling would effectively end the constitutional right to an abortion and place the regulations up to the individual states. I totally think they leaked it as a way of softening the blow. I think it was the right-wing justices that leaked it. That's why I'm looking at Alito. That's why I'm telling you about Alito canceling his appearance. Apparently Don Jr. got all worked up over this leak, and it's a sight to behold. So strap in, content warning, you gotta watch Don Jr., who might have been on cocaine.
You saw the leak.
Ron Fapowski says he did not speed up this video. This video has not been doctored. This is how Don Jr. is normally, apparently.
Guys, you saw the
allegedly. I use the word apparently too much.
Leak from the Supreme Court. An unprecedented thing. This kind of stuff doesn't happen. I don't know that I'm ever aware of a leak. This is not like Congress where everything leaks. And trust me, I've done enough testimony. Things are leaking during closed-door hearings. I get it. The Supreme Court...
Okay. In Don Jr.'s defense, can you blame him for being on drugs? You're a Don fucking Jr. You gotta do something to cope. He looks not okay. That is an understatement, amnestic.
Doesn't have leaks. So if there's not a thorough criminal investigation into who leaked privileged documents about a draft decision from the United States Supreme Court, where a small, tiny handful of people have access to it, then we live in a clown show state. We live in a clown show state, folks. For perspective, the FBI sent, I believe it was 15 people to investigate a garage pull. Remember that the NASCAR Bubba Wallace thing? And thought it was a noose. Well, it's a garage pull. Like, basically on every garage of every NASCAR track that anyone's ever been at. Didn't matter. 15 people. And if they don't send people to investigate this, then again,
wow,
we live in a clown show state. Guys, you saw the leak from the Supreme Court.
Sir, we live in a clown show state, but it doesn't really have anything to do with who the FBI does and doesn't investigate. We live in a clown show state where your father was able to become the president. The fucking president. That's a fucking clown show. We live in a clown show state because people actually listen to what you have to say and give you fucking money for like Trump gold cards and shit. Clown show indeed, motherfucker.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
We live in a clown show state where they pay people like Greg Gutfeld and Geraldo Rivera to argue over goddamn nonsense. This happened on the 5 yesterday or today? I'm not exactly. Yesterday. Yesterday.
Their case so plainly. Yeah. You ask somebody why they're pro-life, they will say, because abortion takes a life, and we believe life is sacred. You can disagree with that, but you can't disagree with the simplicity of it, right? But the problem with the pro-choicers is that they don't have the balls to state their case plainly. Just say, like...
Bullshit! I've got the balls to state my case plainly. You cannot convince me. You cannot convince me that it isn't child abuse to bring a child into this world. Less than ideal circumstances. I'll not change my mind on that. It is better to have not been born than to be born into a broken home, to a parent with a drug problem. Any number of circumstances. Maybe they just don't want to be fucking pregnant. That is also a right I will fight for. A woman can choose just to not be fucking pregnant if she wants to. That is her right, and we shouldn't shame her for that. So fuck off, Greg Gutfeld.
I prefer freedom over fetuses. Don't sit here and come up with all of these other things like, it's going to be interracial marriage next.
My body, my choice. How much simpler can you get?
Let me finish. You already did your ad hominem. People...
You don't know what an ad hominem means, you stupid fuck. Right-wingers are morons. You don't know what the word ad hominem means. I don't know if Gutfeld, I don't know if Geraldo said Gutfeld is a stupid fuck and you shouldn't listen to him on the issue of abortion right before the camera cut on. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that Geraldo didn't ad hominem him.
You insulted a few people there. We talked about this. People are more concerned about what they lose than what they will gain. because you don't have to imagine loss. All you got to do is talk to somebody who lost a child, but you can't. You don't have to imagine it, and it's there forever. A pro-choice.
That right after this motherfucker accuses Geraldo of a logical fallacy, he commits an emotive argument. You got to think, you talk to somebody who lost a child. That has zero bearing on the argument for an abortion. Absolutely nothing to do with. It's just to try to tug at a heartstring because somebody else lost a fucking child, a woman that doesn't have dominion over her own fucking body. Fuck off, Greg Gutfeld.
Mom can look at her adorable 2-year-old and think my life would be nothing without her in 2022. In 2017, when she was young and single, didn't have a kid, she could only imagine the loss of her freedom, right? So that's the issue. The issue here is that people need to imagine, right? They can't step back and see how pro-choice arguments are driven by a refusal to imagine what that baby could be.
How freedom arguments, how arguments about freedom.
Suddenly it changes, right? And then they have to create reasons. They have to create all these reasons to be pro-choice, rather than just be honest and say, yeah, it kills an unborn kid, but I prefer my freedom. That's all you got to say. You'll get so much more respect. The other thing that drives me crazy, now that I'm on my soapbox, is it used to be even the pro-choicers would admit that abortion was an ugly thing, but they felt it had to be a necessary evil, something that would be safe and rare. That was the argument you always heard.
Yeah.
But now when you go anywhere on social media, it's something to celebrate, to cherish, right? The unborn, to shout.
That's baloney.
No, well,
that's baloney.
I'll give you
Cherish
evidence.
the wire hanger stuck up their privates, trying to get what?
The unborn child. The unborn child becomes
before Roe.
This is exactly what I expected. They bring out the old coat hanger.
Somebody rang the bell.
Geraldo, come on, keep going.
Okay, Joey.
You're making a fool of yourself.
On this.
Don't you? You know something?
What?
You insulting punk.
Okay.
Oh, what? Am I your new
Joey,
Bongino?
Go. If you want that role. Joey, go. All right.
You've set yourself.
You're both jackasses. Bongino and Gutfeld are both raging jackasses.